Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. The New Day, shockingly, the New Day are gone from WWE. Bryan Alvarez has confirmed that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods decided to leave WWE after being asked to restructure their deals, and this is a quote. We can also confirm that in the case of New Day, it was their decision to leave based on what TKO was offering for a new deal. To be specific, New Day's deal were not up. They were asked to restructure to TKO deals. They didn't like the deals, so they were then granted their release because the New Day are now gone. This is shocking. This to me seems like something of a sort of genesis point for a totally new professional wrestling space. It just seems like something is about to happen. There's going to be some sort of movement. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely shocking to see the New Day, one of the greatest tag teams of all time, two of the most respected men in the WWE locker room, leave WWE because TKO wanted to save a little money and give them less money. They wanted to restructure their deals, and I love when people say, fuck that, I'm worth more than that, and they leave. That's what Kofi Kingston did. That's what Xavier Woods did. They know how much they're worth. They know what they should be paid, and they know how much they mean to WWE, but TKO is continually fucking that shit up over and over again. This is further proof that TKO has no concept of how the wrestling business works, nor do they understand their employees as human beings. Asking two of the most well-respected stars in the industry, both hugely popular with fans and in the locker room, to restructure their deals is criminal. It is. It doesn't make any sense because most people are just going to say yes because they want a job or they need the money or whatever the case may be. Of course they do. Of course they do. Kofi Kingston has kids and a family. I'm not sure what Xavier Woods' situation is when it comes to his family, but I'm sure he takes care of people as well. And why would they take less money when they've built up these names and they can now do other stuff in the pro wrestling arena? And Xavier Woods has been building himself up outside of being a wrestler for a very long time. He's done a really good job of creating content with his video games and all this type of stuff, more than most people do when they're in WWE. And so they feel like they're going to be safe. They're going to bet on themselves. And it's just a shocking thing to see that two guys like this, nobody's safe. Dolph Ziggler, we saw that recently. Nobody's safe. It's very, very, very interesting. And this is what Jonathan Coachman said, the coach, obviously who's worked for WWE for a very long time. For all of you here saying they weren't over, they aren't losing anything, etc., 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 that's wrong. That's not even close to the point. This is the point. What I just said is further proof about TKO not understanding the wrestling business and just really not understanding their employees or human beings or how things work. They have earned the right. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have earned the right to complete their contract and not force them into making less money because you want to profit more. That's wrong. TKO has been doing this greedy bullshit for a while now, and now hopefully it's starting to bite them in the ass. Less fans are going to watch. WWE people don't want to work there anymore. AEW or indie people don't want to go there anymore because it all seems so fucked because TKO is so greedy. Again, they have earned the right. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, two of the best, human beings, respected in the locker room. Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania, one of the best to ever do it. I've never heard anyone have a bad word to say about those two guys. That's what it means to be a good human being in the wrestling business. It can be very rare, so we have to give these guys their flowers and understand why this is happening. This is simply happening because TKO is too greedy to understand what they have in front of them, and all they care about is the bottom dollar. They should have just let the contracts run out. Then when the contracts run out, then you can restructure a deal. That's how contracts work. But in the middle of your contract saying, hey, we need more profits here, so we're going to take away from these two guys, restructure the deals. No, sorry, we're out. Again, they have earned the right to complete their contract and not force them into taking less money because you want to profit more. What happened to human beings mattering, it continues to be worse and worse look for this company. And now some people's argument might be like, no one deserves shit. And that's true in a sense, right? Everyone gets fired all the time from jobs. People lose money. People's deals get restructured all the time. And I would say the same thing about someone else's job as well. If you had worked for a company for 15, 20, 17, 12, whatever long years, and all of a sudden they said, hey, we're restructuring your deal. Instead of making 150K, you now make 137K because, profits and we got to move stuff around and higher ups need more money. You'd say, fuck off. You don't deserve that. But it doesn't make any sense. It's just not caring about the human beings in front of you who actually have families and things to take care of, just like everyone else in the world has priorities and things they take care of. And so why not have that sort of human-centered approach? And you're going to make the argument about, it's a cutthroat world in WWE. It's about the bottom dollar, and same with sports and all these types of things. And I know that's true. I come from this world. But can't we just be a little bit better than that? Especially when, the sort of the valuation for our company is like $9 billion. I think we can manage to not restructure the deals of two of the most well-respected guys in the industry until their actual contract is up. That's the point. That's the point. And so here's the thing. The New Day are gone. Jeff Cobb already left WWE without being in WWE for a year. Now, some people are saying about Jeff Cobb, some people saying they love Jeff Cobb. WWE treated him poorly. I never found Jeff Cobb to be entertaining, exciting, or charismatic on the indies. He just had what he was doing worked for him. A powerhouse sort of wrestler type, throwing people around, just being that way. He wasn't good on the mic. He didn't have a lot of promo on the indies. He didn't have a lot of charisma on the indies. He was just a good sort of worker wrestler, perfect for a New Japan style type of thing. He's not really a WWE wrestler, but he signed with WWE. They didn't really do anything with him because you can't really do anything with someone who has zero charisma, which I'm sorry, that's what Jeff Cobb has, zero charisma. Yes, WWE sort of gave him a bad situation, but he didn't make the best out of that situation at all. And so he got released, and he'll probably just go back to New Japan. I'm sure Jeff will maybe want to go to AEW, and then you'll see the same thing kind of happen in AEW where he will fizzle out because he doesn't really have charisma. He can't talk on the mic. He doesn't do that. He doesn't have a character that you can buy into, right? Not like Tommaso Ciampa moving from WWE to AEW and instantly being a star. Right? Maybe Jeff Cobb will go back to New Japan. I hope he finds a job. Obviously, he has a family to take care of as well. And I hope he does that to the best of his ability to find something that he really, 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 really fucks with. But I'm not shocked that he didn't do well in WWE, given the personality traits that he has and also giving the roles that WWE gave him. It just didn't work well. And so Jeff Cobb is gone. Kairi Sane was released in the middle of a story. We've already talked about Aleister Black was released after he was supposed to be the reason for Randy's heel turn, and then he just gets released, and I think now Aleister Black basically has burned all of his bridges. If you think all is well in WWE, you're nothing short of delusional. All is not well. Now, I wonder if you could ask talent how things are actually going. What's the vibe backstage? What does it feel like coming to work? Is there a lot of tension? Is it easy to go to work there? What's happening? Guys at the top, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Gunther, people that get the bus treatment and all that type of stuff, they think it's great. But what about everyone else? What's everyone else feeling about all these cuts? You never know when you could be released. More caring about money than the actual wrestling or the fans. All of this stuff is happening right now. Again, like I said earlier, with New Day being gone, it feels like sort of a genesis or a tipping point when something's going to happen in the wrestling business, and we look back 10, 15 years from now and saying, ooh, this was the moment something changed. Because if New Day goes to AEW, that is huge. The New Day are massive stars. Massive. That's Edge level type of stuff. Maybe not the same level as Edge. Maybe that was a little overstated. But more and more people continue to go to AEW. AEW is going to attract those WWE lifers who never wanted to leave WWE but are kind of being forced to because WWE is treating the fans so poorly. So again, maybe right now in May of 2026, there's some sort of tipping point in the professional wrestling business because WWE has just been shitting on themselves and punching themselves in the face over and over and over again with all this stuff that's happening. And the New Day thing has kind of set a lot of fans off even more. So I'm just interested to see where this goes from here and maybe how this tips the scales in the whole professional wrestling sort of space with AEW and WWE. But that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.